Great, thank you.
Okay, Stephanie, great. Where are you speaking from?
I'm in Melbourne, Australia. So you're
Oh,
quite in Melbourne, Australia. So thank you for joining me. It's
middle of the
fantastic.
middle
Appreciate
of
it.
the night for you.
Almost. Yeah. Yes. Yep. I just want to say it's an absolute honor to be talking with you, Joe, and about the transformation that was Reebok. And so thank you for joining me.
It's a
I just
pleasure.
wanted, yeah. I wanted to take you back to the years between 1985 to 1989. And I wanted to know what it felt like for the first time holding that freestyle shoe in your hand for the very first time.
The freestyle shoe.
Yeah.
The Yes, I think the freestyle started in about 1982, 83.
Yep.
But and it took some while before I managed to get to hold that shoe because this all happened in America. And
Yes.
once I had America working, and Paul Fireman was the chief executive looking after America, I was then concentrated on places like Australia, traveling. I
Yes.
was traveling around a lot to get everybody involved. But I mean, obviously, what happened with freestyle is that we're a running company. And as a running
Yeah.
company, we were doing quite nicely. And then well, it was uh, Mar Arnold Martinez that well, his wife was doing aerobics and nobody had heard of aerobics. And so that's where we started. And and it was his idea to produce that shoe. So that was, but to feel that shoe, it was great. I
Mm.
mean, obviously, right at the beginning, they got it wrong because they made it out of glove leather,
Yes. Yes.
and glove leather, whilst it's very nice, and we did use glove leather, but we used to use it on running shoes, and we used to reverse it, so we got the suede side. With the freestyle, they were using the skin side out, the leather side, and they had to
Yeah.
take that skin off in order to get the adhesive to stick the sole on. The adhesive to go in. So glove leather starts at about 1 millimeter, and when you take the surface off, you're down to about 0.7 of a millimeter. So you can imagine you put a foot in that and off.
Yeah.
But luckily, we were in Los Angeles, America, and the girls just loved the product. And
Yeah.
even though it used to fall apart further in those early days, they went out and bought more. So yes,
Yeah.
that was the real sort of making of Reebok.
It's amazing. It is just an incredible transformative story. And I wondered whether you were aware at that point that you were actually holding the shoe in your hand that was the start of the explosion of that women's fitness footwear market.
Well, of course, I mean that changed everybody's life in Reebok.
Mm.
Every-
Absolutely.
I mean, yes, I knew all about athletic shoes, running shoes, but to have that product, not only was it a fitness product, it was also a product that gave women something new. And we did,
Absolutely.
and again, Arnold Martinez, give him credit, he thought this up. Let's make this for women, just
Yep.
women on a woman's last in women's sizes. And wow, I mean, it revolutionized everything
Absolutely.
for women. It revolutionized women, and they had something, and they could turn around, and the men couldn't have it. It
Yeah.
took a few years before we got Exafit, I think it was, for the men, which was a fitness product for men. But
Yeah.
meanwhile, aerobics, well, we were just aerobics, and yes, it was incredible. And
Yeah. Absolutely.
when Jane Fonda started to wear that shoe in videos,
Hmm.
that's that helped the explosion. The explosion was there, but that just catapulted us, like I say, from 9 million to 900 million. It's a big,
Exactly.
it was a big thing for Reebok. And then at 900 million, we had a problem. Our
Yeah.
biggest problem was, and it's something that stopped Nike and it stopped Adidas from making an aerobic shoe, and that was they didn't believe there was any longevity in making a shoe for women. Yeah,
That's it.
all they did is they made athletic shoes in
Mhm.
smaller sizes so that women could wear.
Mm.
And it was the shoes were sort of non-category. It was any gender could wear the shoe. But of course,
Yes.
so it made really for men. So having this shoe made entirely for women was incredible. It was absolutely incredible, and I think it's a story that so many people, um, certainly, well, I suppose a lot of people still know today that aerobics really, this is what really made the Reebok brand, and uh,
Absolutely.
and it's quite original.
Yeah, absolutely. And for you personally, Joe, I mean, what did it mean to be at the helm of such a pivotal transformation in the footwear industry?
Well, when you say at the helm, you really need a team. It
Yep.
depends on a team.
Yeah.
You're only there to do certain things. Uh,
Mm.
Go back to Arnold Martinez. It was his idea. He brought that up, and his marketing idea. Those things were great. So you need a lot of people like that. And
Yeah.
what you need for that is to make them feel part of the product, part of the company.
Yeah.
Eh, building a team is not just saying, "Well, I need some people to help me." No, you need some people to take up the task, to take on that. If an army is fighting a war, it needs a lot of soldiers. And it's
Absolutely.
the same with the business. You need a lot of people out there passing on that message. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you can't imagine, and I can't imagine still, but we were so busy. It kept us so busy for so long. But and you know our biggest problem? I think for 4 years we never went out to sell a product because there was no space.
Yes.
Just the demand was such that our problem was how do we make the shoes? How can we get factories? So that was the problem. Even the money wasn't the big problem. The big problem was being able to find enough production.
Wow.
And
Cool.
we did get lucky because Nike just they hit a wall at that time and they found themselves with too much inventory. And they pulled out of about 4 factories in South Korea. And we went straight in. And that's our luck. We got some luck.
Yes. Yeah,
We
absolutely.
we needed it. We got some luck.
Yeah.
Because if we'd have starved the market because we couldn't get product, other people would have come in because the demand was there. But yeah,
Yeah.
we that was a
That's the
piece
problem, John.
a time in history. It really was, yes. Up to 89. Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. In your new book, Shoemaker, you said, "My journey to success is a testament to the transformative power of unwavering determination, relentless perseverance, and indomitable spirit." I think you've really perfectly summed up some of the traits that lead to transformation there, but I'd love to know more about what that indomitable spirit really meant for you and how that sort of showed up on a day-to-day basis.
Well, I guess you you get a single-mindedness of how do we need to win?
Yeah.
We love men. We were in athletics. We were a sport of performance, so we were used to performance, and, and to do this, to have a product which performs so well and which is in so much demand, we had to believe that we could do it. We could win. As I say, they started off with glove leather. We eventually ended up with something more like garment leather, which was
Yes.
soft. But we brought a softness to leather in sports. Leather in sports was usually fairly firm, stiff, and you had to break the shoes in. With this
Yeah.
soft leather, you didn't have to. The alternative was using something like nylon or canvas in sports shoes. That was the only way that sports shoes could be soft. But we made a difference there in making a soft leather. So I think that with Reebok, making a difference became a habit. If you can make
Yes.
a difference, if you can do something, and even our influencing, because it was difficult to say, well, who's an influencer for aerobics? Because
Yeah.
aerobics was something that you didn't compete in aerobics, you took part. So,
Yes. Yeah.
so
Well
you didn't
said.
have winners as such.
Yeah.
So how do you influence that? So we went to the music business and entertainment. We used entertainers as influencers, and that worked, and it worked very well. So we became a little bit sort of off the straight road of performance that Nike and others were. We moved slightly to left and right, and we had influences which were more fun. That's why we had a lot of fun in the business, and anyway, it was a great time, absolute wonderful time.
Yeah. What do you think it was about the shoe, about Reebok in particular, that it was not only a fitness shoe, but it really did transcend into lifestyle shoes?
I think the difference was, again, that during all my time with Reebok, we've looked for white space. White space is some, because when my brother and myself, my brother Jeff, when we started in 1958, Adidas was so strong in the UK, and the biggest area was football. So they were so strong. And when we started, we didn't have the money to challenge. So we had to go into different areas of cross-country running, orienteering, things that were happening in the north of England.
Yeah.
And we actually started to meet all the athletic clubs. So, we went in to find these, to get this direct sort of community. We built the community around, and I think that we were willing and ready for any change, anything new. So when
Yeah.
this came along, this wasn't classified as a sport. It was classified as fitness. But everybody needs fitness. If you're going to perform well, you need to do a lot of fitness training. And it does help. Just turning up for a game of football or any game, okay, you get on all right. But to really succeed and perform well, you need
Mm.
fitness. So this opened a new category in the sporting goods industry.
Mm.
And
Definitely.
and the thing it took us to 900 million in 4 years. We eventually ended up at nearly 4 billion. And
Incredible.
whilst I was there, and we overtook Adidas and we overtook Nike. We became the number one.
Number one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So because we introduced something different and we brought this to women, you look now, and women are in football, soccer if you're in America, but we
Yes.
call it football.
Yeah.
They're into rugby, and it's growing. So women are becoming more into sport and being accepted. You know,
Absolutely.
I remember going to America, and we were trying to get football into America, and it took a long time. And that was the men's game. It took a long time. Didn't happen
Yeah.
overnight. And the
Yeah.
reason is that country like America, they had American football, they had basketball, they had baseball, and I think they had ice hockey. And those, if you grow up with those sports, that's the social part of it. So you follow those sports. Bringing a new one, it doesn't happen. And so football didn't happen. Whereas with fitness, it was something everybody knew about, everybody did, but nobody really had specifically picked on fitness. And not
Mm.
only did we find fitness, we found ourselves as a woman's company. We pivoted into being a woman's company. And because, okay, 9 million might be a reasonable sized business, but compared to the size of sport, 9 million, not many people knew of us in America in particular. So
Yes.
we were quite clean, quite fresh. We were not known as male, sweaty, and heavy performance sports. No, so I think the timing was great, and
Yeah.
this
Absolutely.
nice white shoe with the Union Jack on, would just give
Yes.
that flash of color.
Yeah. Just a win.
So it was different.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was a success, and what an incredible part of history to have been part of. So, yeah, just
Oh,
awesome. Joe, so I can imagine life today is very different to the breakneck pace of running Reebok, and you and your beautiful wife Julie are still quite active in mentoring teams and working with startups. Is mentoring something that's close to your heart now?
well, it's interesting because we mentor people.
Yeah,
If we like the person, and we have a few people that's, okay, we don't care what you're doing. That's fine. We're interested that it would be nice, but if you're enthusiastic, if you have that drive, and so we love to meet those sort of people and help and do what we can do, and we have two or three at the moment that we're working with, and that's good, and they're starting to succeed.
yeah, terrific. That's it. From learning from the best, we model from the best, and that's the best foot forward. So it's a great thing you're doing. So you've been obviously quite busy writing your book, Shoemaker. It's out now.
Yes.
And now that it's on the shelves officially, what does the next chapter look like for you?
Well, we've already moved on to the next chapter, and that's in
Yeah.
meeting a lot of these people. We're meeting a lot of very interesting people, and we've now a new book out, which is called Survive and Thrive.
Fantastic.
And some of
Fantastic.
the stories are incredible. People who, one in particular, uh, I think Armenian, who was with his family in a Russian uh, refugee camp, and his father would write to America, "Can I come? Can I come?" And surprisingly enough, one day he got the reply, "If you can come, we'll pay for that. And if you can get yourself a job and you can look after yourself after 30 days, you can stay." And his story is in there. Now, he was only a child at that time, but they went to America. His father worked with 4 jobs. He stayed. And now this young man he owns a company. What sort of company is it?
Telecommunications.
Telecommunications. And he's making a lot of money. And he also does a podcast. So that sort of story, we've got numerous stories. So that's what we're doing now. We're doing Survive and Thrive. In fact, we're on book 2 now.
Okay.
Book
That's
1 is
fantastic.
out. Yeah. We're on book 2, and that's what we're doing. We will be in Melbourne in June.
Fantastic.
June in Melbourne.
June
June
3rd.
2nd, 3rd, yeah, 3rd.
June
Third.
3rd, yes.
Yes.
Then we're staying there 7:15 for a week.
And we're going to stay after because we have some friends down there. We had a ball last year with them all. We really had some fun. So we're staying on for a week, and who knows?
Terrific.
We'll bump into you maybe.
I would love that. I think that would be wonderful. And thank you so much for joining me today, Joe. I've loved hearing about your journey and the transformations that you were so pivotal in helping with Reebok and your own personal journey as well. So thank you so much for sharing.
It's been a pleasure, Stephanie, and I look forward to meeting you. I say
Me
down there
too.
in June. Okay,
Thanks. And say
lovely.
hi to Julie for me too.
Bye.